Alright, let's just do this. So, yesterday we got the Fortnite Chapter 2 Remix Prelude event. One hell of a mouthful. And it was bad. It was a boring mess that was infinitely more times worse than Fracture. A sentiment that I've already seen a lot of people share. In this event, instead of getting anything remotely storyline related, we were watching a concert on a screen for 15 minutes. Yeah, many of us were expecting a concert, myself included, but not like this. This shouldn't even be called a Fortnite live event. A Fortnite live event is supposed to be a climactic, cinematic experience that ends either a Fortnite season or chapter. This event was not cinematic or all that visually entertaining, except for maybe a few seconds in the middle of it, and it certainly was not climactic. At least I wouldn't call standing around for 15 minutes staring at a screen climactic. To make matters worse, this concert is supposed to take us back into Chapter 2 of Fortnite. But we have no explanation as to how this is taking us back to Chapter 2. Sure, I didn't expect much in the way of the story for this event, but I expected something, even if it was just a few voice lines. I expected something to conclude Chapter 5. But we got nothing. After this event, I genuinely think the Fortnite storyline is dead. It all started 2 years ago, after Donald Mustard left. Then things just got worse in Chapter 4. After that we had the Big Bang event, which had very little connection to the storyline, but it was at least entertaining. And it explained how we entered Chapter 5. No offense to Charlie Wen or any of the writers or people in charge at Epic Games, but the storyline is nowhere near as good as it used to be. And this event was the final nail in the coffin that solidified that for me. After Donald Mustard left, no matter how bad the story may have seemed, I was still hopeful it would get better eventually. Then this event happened, and now all my hopes and dreams for the Fortnite storyline have gone down the drain. Now, this is going to sound a little weird at first, but bear with me here. Last night, I dreamt that we got a trailer for Chapter 6, and we saw the return of the Foundation. He'd escaped the last reality, and now he had some chrome powers, and he was going to help us save the rest of the 7 in future seasons. I'm sure me and every other storyline fan would love that if it happened, but it won't, ever. The fact that my brain can come up with a better story in my dream than Epic Games can in real life is disheartening. I'm sorry to sound so mean, I am sorry, but I want to get my point across that this isn't good storytelling. Who knows, maybe this wasn't the fault of Charlie Wen and the writers, but it was the higher-ups forcing the story to be pushed aside to make way for a massive, boring ad. In fact, that was probably how it went, but it still would have been nice to see progressions to the storyline. Okay, let's compare this year's Fortnite storyline to last year's. So, last year we went back to OG Fortnite, and while we didn't have an event for that, we did have an explanation for how and why we were going back. Why were we returning to OG Fortnite? There was something coming to the island, and it would cause the end of reality. So, John Jones went back to reset reality. How were we travelling to OG Fortnite? By using a time machine that we stole from a vampire. What about this year's storyline? Why are we returning to Chapter 2? Because Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice said so? How are we travelling back to Chapter 2? Because Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice said so? And to think that, for a time, we thought the worst event was us going around collecting orbs and completing missions whilst piecing an island together. At least that event had us doing something, and it had an actual story. For everyone who isn't so attached to the Fortnite storyline or live events, let me put this into perspective. Imagine you're going to your favourite fast food restaurant to buy your favourite burger. You're excited. You've been on a diet for the last year, and you're finally about to treat yourself at last. You go in, you buy the burger, and instead of any sauces, or meat, or vegetables, they just hand you the 2 buns and tell you that that's all you're getting. That was this Fortnite event in a nutshell. A burger without any of the things that make it a burger. We had been waiting nearly an entire year for another Fortnite live event. Sure, we had some mini events in the meantime, and those were great, but we hadn't had any full-on live events in about 11 months. After all that waiting, all we end up doing for the event is standing there staring at the most boring concert I've ever seen. And I've never been to a concert. If this event had just been a live stream posted on the Fortnite YouTube channel, then I'd have less of a problem with it. Sure, it still wouldn't explain how we got back to Chapter 2, but at least I wouldn't have been sitting in-game watching it, bored out of my mind, hoping until the very end that it would suddenly get better. We were told this was going to be an event, and instead we got a nearly 20-minute ad for next season. I get that Epic Games wants to make money, that's fine, they're a company, that's how that works, but this isn't how you advertise inside of Fortnite. This is how you make your community mad, and God knows we've already had enough of that this year. And that's not even all the complaints I have about this event. Not only was it boring with no story, but it also had no connection to this season's theme. And that would have been fine if the concert took place in the middle of the season, but this event was at the end of a season, and the end of a chapter. It was supposed to conclude a year's worth of story. Yet it was completely disconnected from this season's Marvel theming, and this chapter as a whole. It genuinely cannot get any worse than this. Even after the Fracture event happened, I was still thinking that, hey, Fracture was bad, but it could have been worse. This event was worse. This is the bottom of the pit for Fortnite live events. Maybe there'll be another couple of events that are just as bad as this one, but nothing will ever be worse. It can't be. It shouldn't be possible for another Fortnite event to be worse than this one. That'll be it for this video. My next video should be my gameplay video on Absolute Doom, then a video on the lore of Absolute Doom, before, finally, a reaction to the Chapter 2 remix season. That event sucked, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Hey, if you did, I would appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed to the channel. And if you do subscribe, then please turn on notifications so you know when I next upload a video or livestream. Alright, goodbye.